clone stalker voice, started up the everyone engine, and that made me decide to come back here and post another video. And let's talk about everyone. Let's talk about everyone. Because this is going to be a sad talk about for right now. Everyone around me is involved in this secret society network. Everyone around me has knowledge of crimes they're doing to humans, but they think it's okay because the secret society that they are a part of has deemed these people that they are harassing as unfit citizens for society. If I'm so unfit, how come I'm able to still get employment? Or are my employers involved? So let's see what happens at this next job. Um, I have returned to the thought of fuck this shit. This was designed to keep people small, whatever group that it is that's harassing people. Um, has been successful, and I've seen it. I watched people successfully sue them back, but they've been successful at making people stay inside of their houses out of fear. I refuse to do that. I refuse to stay inside my house because I fear my bathtub overflowing or because I fear people coming in my apartment and touching my stuff and moving my things around. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Um, I'm not even asking for peace and quiet because I understand what's going on. I've seen enough of the news. I've seen enough of the articles. I've seen enough of the decades of stories on gang stalking and proxy stalking and how the rich people and elite people think that this is their playground. So the more news stories I see, I can pinpoint it back to like specific, very wealthy people who are stuck in a hazing fraternity mentality. And I watch their careers crumble because of it. So I have zero problems with continuing my life any way I see fit based on what has been done to me and has been accepted by society because I know I'm not doing anything wrong. So the reason nobody tells me to shut up is because supposedly they need a voice file or they want me to look like an angry black woman, so they need me to yell louder actually. So they're not going to tell me to shut up. They want me to yell louder. Um so I won't. I'm not going to yell louder. I'm going to talk in a calm manner voice, and if you want to listen to me, come closer. Uh, but if not, keep your distance. You don't have to stalk me. I'm a public person. That's why this is so strange. I'm a public person, and you guys have tried to stalk me into being private, and I refuse to be private because I have been abused. And this is the result of the abuse, is somebody who will not shut the fuck up. So each and every time there's an incident in my life that I feel does not happen to other people and should not happen on a recurring basis, I'm going to talk about it. So, like, for example, today, I didn't necessarily have to talk about the tub overflowing because that has seemed to become like an annual thing or a thing that happens every time I get a new job. Um, but the fact that we had a plumber come today, then the tub was cleared. I heard them playing with whatever upstairs, and now it's clogged again. That is someone intentionally interfering with my daily life. That's human trafficking. Um, in a court of law, if you were to say, oh, it's just a plumbing problem, it's a plumbing issue, the plumber told you it's running slow, that means that it's a conspiracy. That means that it's set up already. That means that the plumber knew that it wasn't fixed adequately to run freely. He knew that it was going to back up again, so he gave me a little bit of a warning. The plumber didn't do anything wrong. The plumber did his job. The upstairs neighbor, I believe, did something nefariously or intentionally to create the situation again. And that's why I'm sitting here with my door open, because it smells like drug water. The same spray that was sprayed in the hallway every time I entered or exited my apartment. Do not tell me that is not part of the same type of harassment that the eBay people experienced. You cannot tell me that as a 10-year resident of this building who has not had a roach problem, that the influx of roaches is not similar to what happened to the eBay people. So when I look at the faces of the people at eBay who did that, I just see kids in high school who were hurt in high school who never grew up from it. You guys are still the same hurt kids you were in high school. That should not be my problem, but because I'm your neighbor, we're going to go through this therapy live on YouTube. So when everybody in the community sees you and knows that you live near me, they're going to know that you were hurt. You have some kind of emotional problem, mental issue, if you are playing this stalker AI game. Because it didn't work on me, and now I'm your therapist. My camera is turned off because you don't need to see me. You don't need confirmation of who I am. If you're here for a reason, you can look at the picture on the account, right? If you're here to follow a certain person, um, if you're here to listen to a message, that's all I have to offer. Uh, I don't think visuals at this point do anything to help my case. All I want to do is state factual information and document how society has changed into an elite playground where they get to pick and choose who is able to be employed and who has to become a criminal to eat. Um, they get to pick and choose whose house burns down so that they can rebuild their home there. This is what I do understand Spanish. I'm pretty good at Spanish. I had a great Spanish teacher. Um, One of the ways I learned, let's talk about it. One of the ways I learned is I absorb things. So I used to appear to her, fall asleep in her class every day, but she asked me a question one day while I was asleep, and I answered correctly in Spanish, and she left me alone for not Spanish 1, but also Spanish 2. So I didn't get past Spanish 2 though, but I live in an area that's predominantly Spanish speaking, and I can understand a good amount. Uh, I can write, escribo en español y yo leo. ¿Eh? ¿Sí? ¿Cómo se dice I can read? I see, I'm slow. There's some words, if I hear them, I'll understand, but to speak it, I am not as good. But like when I hear things like Wella, we're trying to hack Wella out of here by coworkers at law firms I was wrongfully terminated from. Um, that comment leads me to believe that we're trying to hack Wella out of here girl is a part of the same network, maybe the same network that the SP whatever Southern Poverty Law Clinic is part of. Because who tries to hack people out of places? Criminals. But they have justified it because of who has asked them to do it, right? Like a person in a high position has asked them to do it. So that it's justified. They're not going to get fired because their fucking administrator asked them to do it, right? While I worked at that same law firm, one of the admin people came back and said, "This is the source of the investigation." So just creepy, ominous messages from people who think that they can control someone's brain without knowledge that the brain, my brain, may be larger than yours. No. I take that back. We have the same size brain, I believe, but I've opened up more of my brain. So you may be playing with a portion of my brain, but another portion of my brain is analyzing the game that you think you're playing, and I'm gonna play back. You ever listen to binaural beats? That's my question for you. Uh, because binaural beats, similar to how I just operate in life, I often will listen to the sounds of nature and outside in one ear with my earphones, or the television and the radio and the YouTube all at the same time, and I'm absorbing information from all three. But I also absorb information well when I'm asleep. So the time that I have the hardest at learning or absorbing information is when people actually expect me to be doing so. And that's the strangest thing. Like, somebody could be telling me something very specifically that I need to do, and I'm going to ask them in 2 seconds, what did you just say? That's very frustrating, I think, for people. But I promise you, I'm here. I'm all the way here. It just takes me a minute. Yeah. Look at these comments. So, people, let's see. Rabbids, I believe, may be a stalker who wants me to stop talking about their crew. And the reason I believe that is because I don't normally get a lot of followers, and I don't normally get a lot of comments. And normally, when I get these comments, it's because they want to distract me and keep me from talking about things that are truthful, which is the reason why they have chosen to stop commenting on my stuff, because I'm very easily able to tell who is a stalker and who is not. So instead of commenting with negative comments, they came on with just distracting comments, which I ignored while I got out what I needed to say. And is that it for today's video? Possibly, but if I get off of this and the everyone engine starts back up again, I may have to talk about everyone again.